responsible for sustainability corporate accountability reports and for communicating BT's business case for corporate social responsibility. He formerly led BT's environmental issues unit. And to my immediate left is Becky Woodward from Burts Chips. She is the technical manager there and has been with the company for about 3 years, helping to set out the BRC materials. She is currently working on a number of expansion projects. Thank you very much. I would like to start by asking each of our panelists to speak for about 3 or 5 minutes about the types of initiatives that they have put in place, the types of strategies they've put in place to respond to climate change and the level of investment required. So I'll give you each the opportunity to talk a little bit about what you're doing, and then we'll start the discussion. There's a little button on these microphones that you press when the green light comes on.
Can you hear me? Okay. Thank you. Good morning. I think probably our response to climate change has been widely portrayed in the media. It is more than just a response to climate change. We, as you know, launched a 5-year, 5 commitments, £200 million plan in the spring of this year, covering climate change, raw materials, waste, health, and their partner and our trading relationships with our suppliers. As part of that initiative, we do aim to become carbon neutral by 2012 for our own operations. We've also committed to assist our customer base of 40 million customers a week and our supply base to improve their carbon emissions. The rationale behind that is probably threefold. Firstly, we believe we're responding to what our customers are saying they want from us. Marks & Spencer's probably had a history of some 50 years of doing the right thing. The right thing at one time was everything should be made in the UK. The right thing may be about hydrogenated fats, it may be about salt in foods, it may be about dyes into streams, and it may be about fair practices in animal welfare and fishing. What we are seeing is those values evolve over time, and what's becoming important to customers is changing. And we do now believe that climate change is becoming increasingly a hygiene factor of required businesses who have a value set like ours. Now that doesn't mean the customer is prepared to pay for that at the moment. Just as she wasn't prepared to pay for a long time for goods being British made. She told us they wanted things to be British made, but when we became the last retailer in the UK to have all of our clothing made in the UK, we nearly went bust. So there is a sustainable economic argument about applying your value set. We do, however, see in the short, medium and long term that delivering a sustainable retail proposition will be the right thing to do. The kind of initiatives we're taking, particularly on climate change, are those that you would expect. They are threefold. They are about, firstly, and probably most importantly, reduction. So, I think again, power in the audience. So they will tell you that my electricity bill is £50 million a year, and therefore a reduction in our usage is hugely important. And we've committed to reduce our usage per square foot by about 25% in the next 3 to 5 years. Second is about the residual amount, the 75% of electricity per square foot that I will still need to be drawn from sustainable sources. And clearly that will be working with the likes of Empower or Centrica or EDF or British Energy or any of the major suppliers to ensure that the fuel that is supplied to Marks & Spencer is from sustainable sources. And thirdly, it's about on-site generation and our own off-site generation. So I see Ecotricity are displaying in the front lobby there. It will be around initiatives such as merchant wind, and for those sites where we can offer energy generation on site, we will clearly explore it. But for us, given that the bulk of our estate occupies city centre locations, the opportunity for on-site generation is at best limited. And therefore we're exploring opportunities for off-site generation, but through our own initiative. So we have our first turbine going up on a farm in Scotland at the moment. It's an M&S dedicated farm. We will underwrite an electricity contract for that farmer. He will secure turbine construction and grid connection, through that electricity coming through one of that main power supply. We are exploring at the moment anaerobic digestion and the production of biogas, principally from ruminant waste, sorry to friends and neighbours. We have large herds and flocks, and therefore the use of chicken litter, cow stuff, to produce electricity, this in case you're recording, to produce electricity clearly has significant benefits in the reduction of methane emissions, but also provides us with a secure source of supply. There are just a couple of the initiatives. That does extend on into waste management and raw materials, etc. And perhaps we'll touch on some of those as we go through our session today. But we are committed to be carbon neutral. That's somewhere in the region of our own operations of 450,000 tonnes of carbon to eliminate. We are committed to support our supply base and our customer base to assist them in reducing their carbon.
Thanks very much, Andrew.
First of all, I'd like to explain a little bit about Standard Chartered Bank. Standard Chartered Bank has been around for 150 years, but 97% of their employees are not based in the UK. They're based in the Middle East, Asia and Africa, which are exactly the markets that are going to be most affected by climate change issues. We obviously, as an organisation, have direct impacts, but the major influence I think that Standard Chartered can have can be around their indirect impacts through their investment and lending portfolios. I mean, obviously in the direct impacts area, where we're doing a lot looking at all of our major buildings, and you have to understand that throughout the world the standards vary considerably, and there's a lot of countries where there is no legislation in reference to these sort of issues. So what we're trying to do is determine some standards through new builds and through refurbishments to say these will be the minimum standards across all of our buildings. So that's one thing that we're trying to do. And we've seen quite a lot of success. For example, we had a building in India whereby they sort of said by our investment of, say, $180,000, they were able to identify that they could get back $150,000 each year through the reduction in energy consumption. And obviously, that's the senior management team being bankers. That's something they're very interested in. So therefore we can push those sort of issues forward by saying, look, as well as the reducing our impact on the environment, we can make considerable monetary savings there as well. On the indirect sort of side, I think we said in our 2006 sustainability report we're going to invest somewhere in the region of $800 million in US dollars in renewable energy projects. One thing that Standard Chartered are interested in is not just sort of investing the money, but also using their core skills. So, for example, we're investors in the Carbon Disclosure Project, and as an investor, obviously, we'd like a return on that, but also what they're doing is utilising their skills in providing advice, because the markets that they want to invest money in are obviously around Asia, Middle East and Africa, which is where Standard Chartered have their core skills. They've got a huge appetite for investing in local climate change projects, and obviously one of the issues is making it economically viable. So in the UK, our chairman is part of the corporate leaders group, looking at sort of environmental issues and trying to help the government to feel confident about setting ambitious targets, because I think that is one way whereby we can actually push forward the climate change agenda by trying to make it more economically viable in the countries in which we work. We subscribe to the Equator Principles, and not only is it about the climate change issue, but it's also about the risk portfolio. Because, for example, if you're a manufacturer of a product for something like Marks and Spencer's or Nike or